Hello and welcome to CelebReel, the channel where hidden stories finally get exposed and the truth behind the headlines comes to light. Today's story is big, one of the most explosive claims ever involving Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z. We're talking about secret tensions, crossed lines, and a silent war that allegedly changed Nicki's entire career from the inside.
Well, y'all, Nicki Minaj is back on X, and she's coming for Jay-Z. So in a series of tweets, Nicki Minaj is claiming that Jay-Z owes her $100 to $200 million so far.
It all started with a shocking confession, one nobody expected, the kind of revelation that shakes the power structure of hip-hop. When Nicki Minaj opened up about Jay-Z, she wasn't just talking about a deal gone bad or studio drama.
Nicki Minaj, she went on another Twitter rant, and she still got Jay-Z and Roc Nation in every tweet. She be wilding on them. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never seen nobody come at Jay-Z this hard.
She hinted at something far more personal, claiming that years ago, Jay tried to push a friendship into something deeper. But when she turned him down...
Y'all really do not understand who I really am. Bring it, let's play. Y'all wanted attention, let's do it. Then she starts talking to the LAPD about something we have nothing to do with. And she's saying to Republic Records that they need to stand up for her any day now. Then she says, you'll regret it. Now, I've been going down the rabbit hole.
Here? Why did this?
Everything changed. Nicki says that's when her world began to fall apart. Quietly, slowly, and strategically. A silent war started behind the scenes. Far from cameras, but deep in boardrooms and private calls.
Blogs and online platforms don't touch what she's saying, and they don't cover all of her words fully because it's Jay-Z and Roc Nation.
Well, I'll tell you this, I have no idea about their business, but if someone owed me $200 million, then I would be in court, not on X, and I guarantee you if she ever took that to court, that would be a huge story.
Hip-hop has seen plenty of public beefs, but this one hits different. It goes straight into power, influence, and what happens when the lights shut off. And the timeline makes it even harder to ignore.
Clearly, Nicki Minaj has dragged Jay-Z to filth. She blasts him for being evil and spiteful.
In 2021, Jay-Z sold Tidal for over $300 million. But back in 2015, Nicki was promised a 3% equity share. Real ownership.
Over and people, you know what I'm saying?
But Kendrick Lamar is the hottest out right now.
He is, though. Kendrick hot.
They're going to make their money.
Yet when the payout came, she says she didn't get a dime. Nicki even said she promoted Tidal harder than anyone.
I hope it's worth losing everything, including your account, because Nicki Minaj has been on X saying that the blogs and online creators don't cover her and Jay-Z's back and forth the same way as they do everything else.
Well, it's not a back and forth.
It's definitely not a back and forth. I was about to, yeah, it's just been for
even Beyonce. Yet insiders later confirmed that while some artists walked away with millions, Nicki's name wasn't on that list. At first, it seemed like just another celebrity complaint, until everything spiraled out of control.
Yeah, so...
What that got to do with Sister Minaj?
Because there's a lot of fans online having a conversation right now following our interview if whether or not Kenneth, who's Nicki Minaj's husband, should be doing the same for Nicki Minaj because she's online and there's a lot of things that she's saying and different things that are happening.
That wasn't the reason she shot at Charlamagne, was it?
No, forget me. Why did she come at Keisha? I don't understand. Like, what did anything Keisha have to say?
By March 2024, Nicki Minaj and her husband Kenneth Petty were suddenly hit with a $500,000 default judgment after a German security guard claimed Petty assaulted him backstage. Then, out of nowhere, that same man's legal team filed to seize Nicki's $20 million Hidden Hills mansion. By September, the LA Sheriff's Office confirmed it. Her home was officially under levy. But here's the part that made fans stop and look twice. All of this chaos hit just weeks after Nicki started publicly calling out Jay-Z over the Tidal equity deal. Suddenly, she was drowning in lawsuits, bad press, and negative headlines. Many of them coming from outlets rumored to be tied to Roc Nation. Coincidence? Or a quiet message from Jay's camp about who really runs the industry? Nicki clearly felt the pressure too. On October 15th, 2025, she dropped a shocking announcement. Her album was canceled, and she tagged Jay-Z directly with the message, "Hope you're happy now." The post exploded instantly. Hours later, her entire Instagram vanished. When it returned days later, it opened with a bizarre image, an AI photo of Jay-Z wearing a bright pink wig, and the caption, "I am your karma." Fans split in two. Some said Nicki was spiraling, others said she was fighting back. But people who know her history heard something different. It felt like a warning. Like Nicki Minaj would rather burn the whole system down than let it break her again. The industry didn't waste a second hitting back. Charlemagne Tha God, one of Jay-Z's loudest allies, went on The Breakfast Club and crowned Nicki Donkey of the Day. His words were brutal. "Your energy is just stank and nasty." He called her posts a meltdown from a bruised ego. But it didn't feel like a normal radio opinion. It felt scripted, and the timing was way too clean. That takedown aired just 48 hours after Nicki accused Jay-Z's team of blocking her radio interviews. Later, insiders whispered that the segment was approved by iHeart's top executives, the same execs still connected to Roc Nation. It didn't look like the machine clapped back. It looked like the machine planned the counterattack. Then the chaos hit. Nicki faced 4 swatting attacks in a row, armed officers storming her home each time with her toddler inside. LAPD confirmed the incidents but claimed they had no suspects. Nicki wasn't buying that for a second. She went public, demanding answers and calling it exactly what it felt like: intimidation. She tagged Republic Records and even Jay-Z's associates, saying she had proof these weren't random pranks. She claimed they were targeted moves meant to shake her. Roc Nation stayed silent, but the moment Nicki exposed it publicly, the raid stopped. The message was loud without a single word spoken. Someone wanted Nicki Minaj to know she could be reached, even inside her own home. When you line everything up, none of it feels random. It feels calculated. First came the money hits, the missing Tidal payout, the lawsuits, the sudden debt drama splashed across headlines. Then came the public humiliation, Charlemagne's takedown, Stephen A. Smith calling her ungrateful, and media outlets repeating the exact same storyline like they were reading from one script. After that came the mind games, Nicki's social accounts disappearing, the AI mockery, cops showing up at her house in the middle of the night. Any one of those things could pass for bad luck, but stacked together, it's a pattern. A former label exec even told us, when a woman in this industry refuses the wrong man, they don't just cancel her, they erase her. What made everything even darker was how fast the industry fell in line. Hours after Nicki's outburst, Gucci Mane's wife, Keisha Kawir, appeared on The Breakfast Club praising Gucci's recovery and mental health. Nicki snapped back, accusing Keisha of being sent there to keep Gucci sedated, and then she circled right back to Charlemagne, calling him Jay-Z's close friend using iHeartRadio for, in her words, disgusting ploys against innocent families. Suddenly, it didn't feel random at all. It looked like a network in motion. Same platforms, same voices, same timing. Whether people believed Nicki or not, the pattern was too sharp to ignore. And through all of it, Jay-Z stayed silent. Not one comment, not one Roc Nation statement. When Nicki called out Jay-Z for blocking Lil Wayne from the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show, saying his ego was punishing greatness, the internet dragged her for it, claiming she was inserting herself into drama that wasn't hers, but underneath that fire was pure loyalty. Wayne discovered her. Wayne put her on, and watching him get sidelined in his own city cut deep. To Nicki, it looked like more of the same quiet revenge she'd been warning everyone about. By late October, everything hit a breaking point. Her mansion was still at risk of forced sale, legal filings kept piling up, and she was days from relaunching her billionaire Barbie brand. Then, right on cue, every major outlet suddenly started recycling old stories about her husband's probation and past charges. No new details, no new developments, just the same headlines, refreshed with a new date. Media analysts later called it a refresh cycle, a sneaky tactic used to drown current news under old scandals. And guess what? Leading that cycle were the same outlets tied to Roc Nation's media network. Coincidence? Or cleanup? And it all circles back to one chilling question. If Nicki's claims are true, If rejecting Jay-Z years ago triggered a personal vendetta, then what else is buried beneath hip-hop's most powerful empire? Nicki's hinted that lawyers, media insiders, and even law enforcement have been pulled into a system designed to protect one man's image. No official proof yet, but the timing, the patterns, and the silence scream louder than any denial could. Because if Jay-Z really has the reach to use legal teams, radio hosts, and police pressure to crush someone who simply said no, but hiding beneath all those questions is one even more dangerous. What Nicki exposed next wasn't just about revenge. It hinted at a machine so powerful that even Beyoncé might be caught in its gears. That $500,000 judgment against Nicki wasn't just a courtroom loss. It landed like a financial guillotine, slicing straight through her independence and showing everyone just how cold the industry can be. And right when Nicki was trying to reclaim her brand, a man named Thomas Bodenmiller suddenly resurfaced, demanding damages from that 2019 incident overseas. But what really turned heads was the speed. The second Nicki started naming Jay-Z publicly, everything accelerated. Within months, her $20 million Hidden Hills mansion was hit with a levy. To casual fans, it looked like typical celebrity legal trouble. But to anyone watching closely, it felt like pressure, a silent warning against challenging one of the most protected circles in music. That seizure notice wasn't just paperwork. It was a message, a reminder of who holds the power and who pays for speaking out. And that same pattern points straight back to Tidal. Jay-Z sold the platform in 2021 for about $302 million, and Nicki's been saying for years that her promised equity, rumored to be worth $100 to $200 million, simply vanished. No payout, no explanation, and just silence like unlocked doors. On paper, every founding artist was supposed to get equity and a payout. But insiders say Nicki's name quietly disappeared from the final deal. Was that a business decision or punishment for turning Jay-Z down? The silence surrounding it has been deafening. Every time Nicki pushed for answers, Roc Nation and Block Inc. stayed locked-lipped. And the moment she brought the issue back up this fall, her entire legal world blew up again. To anyone paying attention, it didn't look random. It looked like a double hit. Financial pressure disguised as coincidence, aimed at reminding her what happens when you take aim at the wrong giant. "Shot a shot at me, was it?" she asked. And honestly, it's hard not to wonder. Behind Roc Nation's polished walls, one name keeps surfacing: Desiree Perez, the same CEO once pardoned by a former president, and now whispered to be the quiet strategist behind the scenes. Sources tied to label meetings claim Perez was the one calling major platforms, advising them to minimize risk with Nicki, code for shutting her out of collaborations and public appearances. Even Republic Records, Nicki's own label, reportedly split down the middle, half defending her, half folding under Roc Nation's pressure. Insiders say that once Nicki went public about the missing Tidal money, internal audits suddenly popped up. And right around the same time, those terrifying swatting incidents started. 4 separate police raids, armed officers, her toddler inside the home. Maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's not. But the pattern is straight up unsettling. The pressure didn't stop with lawsuits or headlines. Suddenly, private texts between Nicki's camp and industry contacts mysteriously leaked to blogs known for their Roc Nation exclusives. Some messages painted her as erratic. Others hinted she owed huge advances. None of it verified, but all of it damaging. A former road manager told us bluntly, "It's never about truth. It's about wearing you down." And that's exactly how it looked. Every headline, every Instagram explosion, every breaking story felt engineered to drain her so deeply she wouldn't have the energy to fight back. And through all that chaos, one name stayed perfectly untouched: Beyoncé. When Nicki dropped the cryptic line, "Beyoncé knew," the internet exploded. If Jay-Z really crossed a line with Nicki years ago, fans started asking the one question no one is supposed to ask: what did Beyoncé know? And when? Her silence since then has been chilling. Publicly, she's calm, flawless, unbothered. But insiders say her team has been scrambling behind the scenes, calling radio hosts, producers, stylists, anyone with a microphone, making it clear the topic is off limits. One insider said it plain, they can't let this look like betrayal inside the royal family of music. Because if even part of Nicki's story is true, Beyoncé's silence isn't elegance, it's strategy. And the stakes? Way bigger than drama. For nearly 20 years, Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been the unbeatable power couple, the ones who turned fame into an unshakable empire. But if Nicki's accusations really start cracking that polished image, it doesn't just threaten Jay-Z, it threatens the entire myth they've built. Industry whispers say NDAS have already been circulated, locking Roc Nation employees into silence about any disputes involving female artists. Lawyers are revisiting old agreements, tightening loyalty clauses and confidentiality lines. Nobody wants to be the next name dragged into this storm. And honestly, it feels less like PR cleanup and more like a full-scale containment operation. Nicki's treating social media like her last shield. After posting that eerie AI image of Jay-Z in a pink wig with the caption, "I am your karma," she didn't slow down. She launched into a full-on digital blitz, calling out the industry gatekeepers who blocked her interviews, accusing certain executives of blackballing her, daring her label to speak up, and hinting she's holding documents that could blow the situation wide open. She wrote, "The same business managers who robbed me are still working for them." Whether those claims ever end up in a courtroom is still unknown, but one thing's obvious now. Nicki isn't just fighting a personal battle anymore, she's become a symbol. The artist who refused to stay quiet when the room told her to whisper. And behind the curtains, fear is spreading. Smaller artists are murmuring about last-minute show cancellations. Podcasters who spoke positively about Nicki say advertisers suddenly pulled out, sending polite reminders about which names they prefer not to be associated with. Meanwhile, sources say Beyoncé's team has started tracking coverage, a literal list of media outlets to monitor, watching which stories drop and where that level of coordination doesn't happen just for gossip. It happens when an empire feels the floor begin to tremble. And that's the part that chills people to the bone. Not the drama itself, but the psychology behind it. Every outburst, every vanishing Instagram post, every mysterious photo gets labeled as celebrity chaos. But when you zoom in, a disturbing pattern appears. Each time Nicki speaks up, a wave of headlines crashes down. Then, like clockwork, another lawsuit hits, another show gets canceled, another smear story drops. It's almost as if the industry is sitting back, waiting for her to slip, just so they can say, "See, we told you she's unstable." But what if she's not unraveling at all? What if this is what years of silent pressure, manipulation, and behind-the-scenes power plays actually look like when they finally surface? Inside the business, the whispers are getting louder. People are saying Nicki's so-called meltdowns are being used as ammunition. Executives who once begged for her time now hide behind fine print insurance companies, tag her as a liability. Publicists who used to ride for her are ghosting the moment things heat up. This madness narrative has become the perfect weapon, a way to dismiss her, discredit her, and drown her claims under labels like emotional, erratic, and difficult. It's the oldest play in the book. Take a powerful woman's exhaustion and twist it into proof that she is the problem. And the cruelest part? The more she defends herself, the easier it becomes for the machine to paint her as the villain. If even a fraction of what she's saying is true, this isn't a meltdown. It's exposure, not of her, but of an entertainment system built on quiet fear and loud punishment. The memes, the headlines, the sudden concerned pundits, that's not commentary. That's soft censorship, a silencing tactic disguised as entertainment. Because if Nicki Minaj, one of the most successful women in hip-hop, can be pushed this far to the edge, imagine what happens to the artists who don't have her platform, her money, or her voice. Nicki's not just battling for her house, her money, or her reputation. She's fighting for the right to stand outside a machine built to control her. If even part of what she's claiming is real, we might be watching one of the most calculated acts of retaliation the music industry has ever pulled off. A system engineered to punish disobedience, erase the evidence, and rewrite the narrative afterward. And that leads to the question nobody wants to touch. If this can happen to Nicki Minaj, with her millions, her influence, her global fan base, what chance does anyone else have? How many other artists have been quietly pushed aside, silenced, or broken long before we even learned their names? This might not just be her fight. It could be a warning shot for the entire industry. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, share this video, and make sure you subscribe because this story is far from over. See you on the next one.